Okay, I think we're all ready to start this great stream now. Everybody's so excited. My goodness, we've just streamed so much. But the last two streams were good streams. This is an old-fashioned bad stream, so we can all look forward to this. The microphone is working. We got to check that the chat is working. That's very important, you know. You got to dot your I's and cross your T's. Now let me see if it's getting up on my phone. That's an important T to cross. Oh, it's not loading very quickly, but there it is. My goodness gracious me. Stream starting soon. Clicking on the chat. Oh my god. Now I gotta put my headphone in and check that the audio is working. Oh my god, it's working. This is terrific. Now, I've got an inside scoop, everybody. Of course, the title of today's stream is I watched the Big Lebowski so I could better understand Chainsaw Man. That is true. I was watching that for like the last 3 hours. Now, it's a 2-hour movie, you might be saying, but sometimes, you know, I gotta like lie down. I need a break, okay? I'm living a hard life over here. Now, so it took me a little while. What can I say? Did I want to be streaming an hour ago? I did. Oh my god, the great Heath is here, giving me some red marks. I don't know what all that's about. That seems, frankly, racist. But, you know, we can get into all that as we progress. Now, I'm sure I'll have 20 viewers again today, because I am famous now. But... oh, the inside scoop is that Elite RE is releasing a Chainsaw Man ending video tonight. So I don't know if he's been complaining to me about it all night, how he hates manga and he hates making manga-related videos. And he was just quizzing me if everybody else also thinks the Chainsaw Man ending is happy. And things like that. You had 50? I only saw 35, I think. So actually, I feel like I saw like 46 at one point. But whatever. I'm world famous, and now it's just me and you again, Heath. You know, the way it should be. Now, Elite Ari's video is going to come out, and we're going to jump on it. We're going to pounce on it. We're going to steal all his views. I assume so when he didn't post one yet. Post one yet? Oh, a video. True, did he break his little video thing? His little lame-ass video thing? I think we got like 500 views on our Chainsaw Man thing by now. I'm in the wrong one. Oh my god, I'm not a Nazi, right? I watched that Nuremberg movie, and now I watched a bunch of videos about the Nuremberg trials, and that's why this guy is coming up, okay? I'm not a bad guy, everybody. I didn't actually talk about the movie Nuremberg yet, so we can talk about that if we run out of ideas. Let's see if we got any new comments in our great second. Oh, I got 3 subscribers since yesterday, you know, no biggie. Oh my goodness, I haven't. Mir uploaded a reaction, so I didn't watch much of it, but it is funny that Elitari, that Mir was saying all the things Elitari was mad about. That was very, very funny to me. Shitty Pokemon Champions is coming out soon too, but we don't care about that. What were we checking? Oh yeah, I uploaded this individually, even though it should probably have a thumbnail, but it doesn't. But that was our great edited intro. Oh my god, 600 views last week. We've only got 20 views on the re-upload I did so far. But on the live thingy, 628 views. We're rich and famous. Togepi, you know, that's got nearly 40 views. Don't worry, I'll be uploading the Togepi video tomorrow. It's nearly the end of the month. Can you frickin' believe it? Did I upload a scripted video yet? I'm supposed to be making that Utena video, right? But it fucking sucks. So, I don't know what I'm going to do. Half of me... It's one of those videos where I'm being funny and overstating the thing. Did I do that in this video? I'm sick of being funny in videos. I think we're done being funny. We got to be serious gamers again. And my Great Black Sails video will be very serious. I'll have an adjusted tie on. No more making jokes. We're sick of jokes. We conquered the joke lands. We made the funniest videos. Now we're making serious videos. We'll see. Oh my goodness, look, nearly 600 views on my great famous scenes video. Now, Heath, keep an eye out. If this Elite RE video comes out, I gotta know about it. Man, Blind Wave is reacting to peak Naruto stuff right now. What filler are they reacting to? Skipping filler isn't worth it. But you gotta speed up this Naruto watch through. Well... Oh, that piece of shit Elite RE today told me that we're not recording Naruto this weekend, and instead we're recording Revolutionary Girl Utena, because he's already seen most of the Utena episodes, and he hasn't seen the Naruto episodes yet. And guess who's got the opposite problem? This guy right here. So I'm being punished. And it's not fair, frankly. But true, we do got to do our end of. Oh my god, this video only came out 9 days ago. I was thinking it came out like 3 weeks ago. So we did upload a video this month. But we need popular and famous videos. So I'm gonna run out of money soon. And it's in my best interest to be rich. So we got to kick this shit out. We got to keep going with this shit. Now, what was I saying? Something about a leader or something. We got actual tweets to go over. It is funny. We do have Chainsaw Man on here. I was so lazy. I googled this, and this was like the best looking image that came up. So there we go. Nuremberg. Taco P's Original Sin. It is very funny. I have thought about zero about poor Taco P's Original Sin since I finished it. Silly Chainsaw. It is very similar. I don't think I've thought about the Chainsaw Man final chapter much at all, besides the stream yesterday. And I think truly the ending of Chainsaw Man was completely secondary to us doing the video like right afterwards and me making that video, the tribute video. I have really not thought about it much at all, and I don't think I have any strong feelings. I liked it as I read it. Obviously, my Twitter was all about the negatives and stuff today. It is very funny that Elite RE's reading is like exactly what I said in my video, and my reading is the opposite. That is like the most interesting thing to me. Oh yeah, I changed the title to see if I could capitalize on any views. I said, what's even the point of Denji's character? I changed it, but that doesn't seem to have worked, so... That video is dead on arrival. What can we say? But true, and then we got the Big Lebowski. Let's go to Letterboxd. Let's do these shitty movie reviews. I'll tell you something. I watched this Big Lebowski video, and it's nothing like Chainsaw Man. And by video, I mean movie. So, you know, frankly, we don't have much to say here. Fujimoto is just like Japanese. That's why he didn't understand this movie and thought it was weird. No, the movie is kind of weird. Guess what? Nuremberg... and The Big Lebowski both got 4 stars. So every movie I've seen this month has gotten 4 stars, so that's kind of boring. That being said, I have thought about this Nuremberg movie quite a bit. So, you know, if anything's threatening to... I can't spell Lebowski, right? So I've got to do it like this. It's probably the best of them, I think. What fucking shitty movies have I watched? Joint Security Area, that was kind of cool. And then Black Bag, that was a 4-star movie. There Will Be Blood, that's a 4-star movie. We watched 5 movies this month. You know, that's the most I've ever watched in my whole life, I think. Also, this is by one of the Coen brothers, the There Will Be Blood guys. No, not the There Will Be the Blood. No Country for Old Men guys. I feel like I didn't really care about this guy, and he's like the main character of this movie. And that's probably what holds this movie down, actually. Oh my god, John Slattery was in it. That's Roger from Mad Men, and he was pretty funny. Actually, he wasn't that funny, but he was cool. He's the best actor ever. This movie's got a 3.5, you know, my goodness. This movie is about this head Nazi guy going on trial, and he's like convincing people around him that he's not such a bad guy. It's funny, the most affecting part of this whole movie is when they just show like 4 minutes of Holocaust footage. And I don't think I'd ever seen anything but photos, and I was like, this is pretty fucked up, dude. This is not cool what these Nazis did. We definitely got to kill Russell Crowe right now. He was the big German Nazi guy. And it is funny because the way the movie is structured, that is like the point and almost the climax of this guy's oddly personable and he's relatable. And maybe he didn't really care about killing the Jews. Maybe he was just doing it as an opportunist. And it's like, oh, I don't know about this. There's like a scene where one of the Holocaust footage, and I'm assuming this is all real footage. I'm 99% sure it was real footage. And it's like, the state of the camps were so bad that we couldn't go in and like take the bodies out individually because we would have got sick. So they had to use like, what do you call it? Big trucks to like move it, and they're just like running over the bodies and like pushing them into mass graves. It's not cool. It was not cool, guys. And then they found like an alive guy in the middle, and he had no skin or whatever. And it was not cool. The Holocaust was bad, everybody. That's what you'll find on this stream. Oh my god, Michael Shannon was in it. You know, he's from Boardwalk Empire. You know this guy? This guy right here. He was very skinny in the movie to the point where I thought this guy might have cancer and he might not be telling us. But I don't know. Then sometimes he had a suit on and he didn't look so skinny anymore. So that was a little crazy. But true, this guy was the main character, and I don't know, he was okay at acting sometimes, I guess, but not all the time. But the Holocaust was bad. That's the main point of that movie. And you better believe it, chat. The Big Lebowski was funny. I like Sully. It was Sully from Monsters, Inc. This guy, John Goodman. This guy was funny in this movie. I thought he was a funny guy. There's a bunch of things. It's funny because I was like, I didn't really think it was going to inform me too much about Chainsaw Man. I was curious about the ending because that's what people kept bringing up. The ending is just sort of, I don't know. What the fuck does non sequitur mean? Does it mean what I think it means, where it's like a nonsense, like going off the trail? A conclusional statement that does not logically follow from the previous statement. True, Destiny. I just learned that now. I mean, I guess that's what it is. It's just kind of like it goes in a weird direction. There's like a kidnapping plot, but that's not what the movie's about at all. And it turns out the girl was never kidnapped and everybody was trying to fuck everybody over. But not in a cool, like, spy movie twist way, but in like this guy's bumbling through a bunch of very weird scenes and scenarios. It is interlaced with like weird dream sequences too, which I could see people thinking was weird, and a lot of weird stuff happened. But this movie is a very famous movie, of course, so it has a bunch of cultural references that I was like, oh my god, that does come from this movie, right? But none of them had anything to do with Chainsaw Man. Like, this guy keeps repeating how he was in Vietnam, and goddamn, he fought in Vietnam for this, and stuff like that. And that's like a joke that they do in South Park all the time. That probably comes from this movie. And this used to be a big joke in like early 2010s political YouTube that I was watching when I was like 12 years old. I was like, oh, that's where that comes from. And Steve Buscemi gets told to shut the fuck up whenever he talks. And I'm like, oh, that's where that comes from. And the German guys, the DBZA German hell guys, are based off the German nihilist guys in this movie. Because of how they talk and how they keep talking about penises, yes. And they say yes at the end of their sentences like that. So that's where that came from. And that's just your opinion, dude, is from this movie. Who knew? And like, it's also interesting where I'm so culturally removed from this movie, though I understand all the cultural references, where I don't know if this is like a movie that's making fun of the way the main character acts, or this movie invented the guy that would what do you call it? Emblemize? Epitomize? These aren't the words I'm looking for. People would embody this guy moving forward, and did this movie create this guy that I recognize, or was it already a thing and this guy is making fun of that? I honestly think it's this movie created it and then people copied it. Also, this is a very funny image. Also, this is Jeff Bridges, who was in Iron Man. That's the only thing I know him from. But everybody's like, oh, Jeff Bridges, that famous actor. But he doesn't look like, he looks very different. I didn't recognize him at all. He's bald in Iron Man or something. And of course, the great Steve Buscemi, of course, the lead character in Boardwalk Empire. You know, we just love Boardwalk Empire here. But true, the movie was funny. Which is meant to be like Power? Which one is meant to be like Power? That's Cartman from South Park. That's not any of these guys. This guy's like the wackiest guy, but he's not really like Power. This guy's you could kind of say he's a little bit like Denji, where he's like bumbling. And how Denji does talk, he does kind of talk like the 90s surfer stoner dude sometimes, which is how this guy talks. So a little bit of that is in there too. And obviously the scene where they're cleaning the bowling balls is in the Chainsaw Man anime OP. And when that came up, I was like, oh yeah, that's that shot. But true. And where's the money, Lebowski? That's from this movie too. Which they do reference in Monsters, Inc., right? Because it's, what's Mike's name? Kwazowski. Somebody says something like that. Maybe that's in the sequel or something. But true. This guy is Sully in Monsters, Inc. And that, you'll never find... Oh, also, he's that fat dude from 10 Cloverfield Lane. I remember that movie. But true. I feel like that's all I have to say about those movies. I don't know. I understand why that, like... millennial film bros really love that movie. That sounds more insulting than I mean it. But, you know, it's like a thingy. Also, I've started to see things about this weird frickin' movie that people apparently like. That Miller the Killer rushed out to see opening day. So maybe this is a popular movie. 4.4. Can we be serious? It's a space movie with Ryan Gosling. It's not going to be good. And I've seen people say it's bringing hope back to cinema or something. So, you know, that's important and crazy and stuff like that. I'm still going to watch After Hours, though. That's like the next proper movie, I promise. They're probably going to hit 40 before the end of the month. Oh, I had my day out yesterday, and I didn't get to talk about it because, you know, we were doing our Great Chainsaw Man stream. But I did buy 2 more great classic books that I'm not going to read. I bought The Great Gatsby, and I bought Dracula. So I can't wait to not read both those books. But I will definitely plan on reading them. So everybody can look forward to that. Were there any other tweets? Oh, there were some funny Chainsaw Man ones I did retweet. Oh, yeah, the resetting thing. It was kind of like Lane. Lane does do that. That was just this tweet. You can't do some universal reset bullshit after 24 volumes. This isn't Madoka or Lane, where this shit is planned from the beginning. Maybe it was planned from the beginning. On a 12 to 13 episode anime that acts as the climax to everything instead of being a transparent excuse to drop multiple plot threads and characters. It's not cool, guys. You can't do that. There is, like, some merit to this. It is like the Devilman conundrum, where Devilman, I feel like, is the perfect length to have its ending. Whereas if, like, it is a longer story and everybody just dies in the end, like, it does kind of feel like an anticlimax or annoying, or what was it even all for then, or whatever. And I think that could be annoying. And people, that is definitely a segment of the complaining about this ending. Oh, I did see that Chibi Reviews, like, I think he just jumped on the hating bandwagon, think it was going to be really popular, and it wasn't as popular as he thought. I don't know if I should go to Chibi Reviews' Twitter. But he had a tweet, and it only had, like, 1K likes, and it had, like, 200 comments. And I saw, like, there was, like, a comment that said, Rare Chibi L. And it had, like, 50 likes. I'm like, oh, my God, he's getting pushback. That is really funny if you, like, went to it too soon. And then started getting pushback. Oh my goodness. We got some chatters. Fujimoto should watch less movies. True. Too many movies is not good for the brain. There's also, like, it breaks the fourth wall a lot. Well, not really a lot, just like at the end. I don't know. It is a weird movie that's clearly making fun of the structure of most movies. So in that sense, it is very Fujimoto-esque. But in terms of, like, direct things, or did it give me any particular insight into anything? I mean, it's not really a movie where characters develop, so that's kind of on brand. But true. Dracula is good. I don't know if I read your version, though. I bought the Penguins Classic Edition. But as I understand, Dracula is like one of those cool, like, found note things where the story isn't told in a novel-like fashion. It's told through, like, notes and diary entries or something. And that's really cool. But also I did, like, spoil the whole book for me when we went to see Nosferatu, and I came back, and before we recorded that great review with me and Elite RE in person, I did, like, read the wiki or something of it. So, do I remember that much? Probably not. Also, Dracula is a lot longer than The Great Gatsby, which was a short book, so my goodness. Meanwhile, I'm buying Ghost in the Shell Collector's Edition. Buy some real literature. When's that shitty anime coming out? Then I'll read that manga. But true, Ghost in the Shell is pretty cool. Maybe Chainsaw Man is just one of those bad movies you see to appreciate the good ones. This was unironically a good tweet. I think this is funny. 13K likes. You can't not like and retweet, you know? You can't not. Oh my God, Brazil? Can we trust a Brazilian? I don't know. And true, those are all the great tweets we have to catch up on. I did see one video that came out really quickly about the ending. I don't know if I playlisted it. Is Elite RE's video out yet? I'm not seeing it. I'm sure it would be on my great homepage here. I wonder if it's a shitty Ordinary RE video. He needs to stop with this Ordinary RE shit. It's pissing me off, on God. There ain't nothing on this fucking homepage, I'll tell you that. Oh my God, this guy is done. Did Sufferance make a video yet? I feel like he'll have... Oh, Miller was sending a bunch of things. Like, Alexander had an opinion that was, like, slightly negative, which is funny. But no, One Punch Man's creator lost it. Now that is freaking crazy. Where's... Oh, I'm on the wrong channel. Hold on, everybody. We're going to the right channel. Trip is here. Even Mia put out a video. Well, Mia's was a reaction video. Oh my God, low poly error. Let's learn about PlayStation games. No, I must not have added this fucking Chainsaw Man ending video. So let's see if we can find it. Get rid of this thing. I don't want to look at the silly fella over here. Why Chainsaw Man's happy ending is pointless. Ooh, 22K views. This is going to be Elite RE in a second. I thought about trying to make a video, but I just don't care. I don't know why. I just don't care enough. Why the Chainsaw Man finale feels so messy. That's upsetting. Oh, the chibi one. Of course we need to watch the chibi one. Gigak's reaction. Oh my goodness, it was from 2 weeks ago. None of these are the videos I saw. Moist Criticals is straight buns. How did he only talk about it for 54 seconds? Oh, this is the video I saw. Chainsaw Man's isn't deep, you just didn't listen. True. Chainsaw Man's final chapter is a fucking masterpiece. Oh my god, we got some happiness out here. So there's at least some defenders. Oh my goodness, everybody. Oh my god, he's got the cinema scene up. Is he gonna make the same joke? That would be crazy. Let's see what...
Chainsaw Man just redefined what a 5 out of 10 ending looks like.
Oh, yeah! Look at this dumb bitch Asa. Look, she looks like 3 in this image.
Anywhere from satisfying to unearned, but everyone is asking the same question. Is that it? For an ending that was expected to either save Chainsaw Man or cement its downfall, this ending fails to do both in a way that is shockingly mid.
That's kind of funny.
The final chapter gets a lot of things right to the extent that it's a fitting ending for Chainsaw Man, but the way the characters reach this ending feels very out of character for this story. I'm sure this is the kind of ending that will get better over time, but it's an undeniable 5 out of 10 because it gives you every...
So there's some weird hedging here. Because this is like the immediate discourse when something comes out and is hated. There's a particular type of copium where it's like, don't worry, in about 3 years we'll be revising this ending, and you better be on the right side of history, brother. Which is what kind of happened with the Attack on Titan ending, right? Most anime people really like the ending. And I don't know if that happened with MHA, because MHA's anime is finished, right? I can't remember. My video is uploading. You better react to it, Elitari. What a fucking idiot. What do you think? We're here for no reason? Goddamn. How about you rewind the great video? Elitari, to spoil you, I learned basically nothing about Chainsaw Man from the Big Lebowski, so you don't have to watch that movie. But we're watching good videos right now, Elitari. Now, this is the guy that makes Naruto videos. Elitari, close your eyes. I'm not going to read out any titles, but you might see some title thumbnails, because I'm pretty sure this is a big guy that makes a lot of Naruto videos. The Odor Effect. Oh my goodness, that's about One Piece. No, I think I might be confusing this guy, because these are not the thumbnails I thought I was going to see scrolling here. Though these are all very recent. This guy be pumping out these fucking videos. Maybe this is not the guy. So, Leo, you can open your eyes. We got no Naruto spoilers. Now, Naruto, that's a real series with a tremendous ending. Such a great ending that I never even considered watching Boruto. But, you know, some people didn't make the same thing. JJK spoilers close to your eyes. Let me tell you something. I know everything about Jujutsu Kaisen. And I don't care one iota.
Everything you asked for, but you don't really feel like you got what you wanted. And the reason you're left wanting more isn't because the ending was so good that you'd want to read it again. You're left wanting more because this chapter does the bare minimum and leaves so many things neglected or just plain forgotten. So is this ending good? No. But before I explain why, it's only fair that we start with what Fujimoto gets right in this ending, especially considering how many people
You're gonna have to lead with the positivity.
One of the worst endings ever. And of course, this will contain spoilers. First of all, we can all agree that the best thing about this chapter is Power. It's no secret that Power is a fan favorite character, and fans on both sides of the dialogue were waiting for her return. Plus, this was something that Fujimoto explicitly set up in the end of part 1, so it only makes sense that he would...
She had to come back. She just had to.
...through before the story ended. And admittedly, this is the one area where Fujimoto knocked it out of the park. Because in chapter 232, we are shown a new world where Denji never meets Pochita.
It is crazy that Power is like the most featured person in this last chapter. But, you know, whatever. Also, the people that think like Fire Punch's ending is like better than this are like crazy, because it's almost exactly, well, it's not exactly the same, but it's a very weird ending too. And it definitely feels abrupt when you're reading it. There's a lot of like fake Fire Punch appreciation I've noticed, where obviously Fire Punch is like really cool and like edgy, and like if you're a cool guy, you like it better than Chainsaw Man. And I am a cool guy. It is better than Chainsaw Man. Togata is better than everything in Chainsaw Man. But like I feel like it's a thing where people are pretending to get it, and they're like, I don't know, it feels retarded. I'll see. I don't think I've ever seen a good Fire Punch video, it's my fault. I've been trying to make that Chainsaw Man video disguised, well, that Fire Punch video disguised as a Chainsaw Man video for 15 years. I don't know how I would make that video. I'd have to completely reframe it. Today, while I was thinking, I did come up with an idea for an ending video, and I was like, that would be how I would frame it, but I completely forgot it. Oh, anyway, you know, whatever. Yes, it's very similar. Fire Punch, that is. True.
And the Chainsaw Devil does not exist. Well, Chainsaw Man never existed. There's a whole Chainsaw Devil conspiracy, but we'll just leave that alone for now. Anyway, the events of Chapter 1 still take place, but this time Power saves Denji instead of Pochita. So in this chapter, Denji
little bro feels like he's still on one-time speed.
Well, most of it anyway. We'll come back to you-know-who a bit later. But this is easily the best part about the chapter, and it's undeniably the one thing everyone agrees is good about this ending. Denji went through all of this torture, and he finally gets to have a family again. The two of them can have their sibling dynamic and fight devils and eat takeout as much as they want, which is probably what Denji wanted all along. I should also mention that Nuyuta is another character that returns in this chapter, because she's the one who discovers Denji this time instead of Makima. So this is another way Denji gets his happy ending, because he gets to have his normal life with both of his sisters, the one he fights with and the one who bosses him around. So in that sense, this is a good ending.
That's his daughter, you fucking idiot.
Because fans got what they were asking for. We got to see Denji finally be happy and live out his slice of life dreams with the characters we wanted to see come.
So this is further beating the shit out of Alita Re right here, implying that everything is going to be very happy here, because they're all going to be sisters and they're all going to get back to the places in which Denji was happy.
Back. But this already creates a major problem. Where is Aki? In this chapter, Fujimoto
Ah, fuck this top bun retard, Aki fucking sucks.
doesn't take the time to show everyone that might have been resurrected.
Oh, but secretly, guys, you know, his absence implies that he's living a happy life with his family. No, it's just that nobody gives a fuck about this loser, so we didn't include him.
And only focuses on Denji and the characters that are most important to him.
Oh, tell me about the snowball fight again, please. Oh my god, speaking of snow, it's heated rivalry.
Okay.
I'll watch the show eventually, okay? I keep getting HBO Max, and every HBO Max ad, I'm like, I should watch that show.
This is why we get Power, Nagita, Pochita, and Asa, but there is not a single mention of Aki. And that's a huge reason why this ending feels like it's missing something, because Aki was by no means a minor character.
Okay, this guy isn't even stupid enough to get to the Aki is happy, that's why he's in the chapter thingy.
He's the one Denji has spent the most time with after Pochita and Makima. He was always included in Denji's visions of his
bro. We were really invested in Denji's relationship with Aki.
Family. He was even shown alongside Power in part 2, and Denji explicitly references him when he talks about how Yoshida reminds him of Aki. So then if chapter 230
and that bitch-ass Yoshida wasn't in this chapter either, because he sucks also.
He was supposed to give Denji the family he always wanted, then why isn't Aki even mentioned in this chapter? You might say that's because Denji
Fujimoto always hated Aki, you just put him in there to appease the losers. That's you guys.
Only wanted to be around girls, but that doesn't account for Denji clearly missing Aki in his life. And you can say Aki's dream was to just see Denji and Power be happy, and that's why he's not there. But if this is supposed to be about Denji, then that still feels lacking. The only explanation I can think of is that everyone in the ending had devil powers, so they were still capable of being resurrected, while Aki was only temporarily given powers of the gun devil. But there's no clear reason for why part of Denji's family isn't there.
That's why they got resurrected.
And it's something that immediately
that's why the great pets got resurrected.
This ending. But surprisingly, only so many people are bringing this up, and people really just seem to be happy that Power is back. What seems to be even more divisive is the way Fujimoto handled Asa, because obviously Asa makes a brief appearance where Denji—
True, I did see a bunch of Asa got raped and we never addressed it thingies. And I was like trying to figure out what the fuck people could possibly mean. And I think they just mean like Yoru was raping Asa by coming on to Denji. I don't know. Oh, the ending video I would make would be just making fun of people's like feminist interpretations of Chainsaw Man that was obviously retarded the whole time. And it was just an excuse to shit on Sakura like everything is. But yeah, that's funny.
She steps in to catch Asa before she can trip and fall on Bucky. And fans are split because on the one hand, it's great that Asa gets her own happy ending, but she's also shown to be a complete stranger to Denji, and Fujimoto doesn't show us what really happens to her. We don't know if she and Denji end up together, and even worse,
obviously,
I feel like Denji saving her undermines all of the work that was done to build her up as a major character, because she just gets saved and—
True, she doesn't have her own autonomy, you know, she doesn't really get to— she just goes missing, you know. We've heard it. These are all the Sakura excuses.
Walks off with no clear resolution. And while claims like that are totally valid, this is where I'm actually going to push back and say Asa got a solid ending. Not great, but solid. I won't lie, I definitely—
This is like a half-decent video idea, but it's all based on, like, fighting phantoms. You misinterpreted Chainsaw Man. This is my video idea. Not interested in exploring Denji's male victimhood. Fucking idiots. Is that how you spell victim? Who cares? Asa no. Female character autonomy. Better than other shonens. And there was a third thing that went through my brain, and that was the whole reason why I wanted to type this out so I wouldn't forget it. Oh, development. They still don't get it. They're still waiting for it, these fucking retards. And all these are like... These are all the nostalgia critics' fault. Well, and really just this one. But everything always is. These idiots, they were brought up, they were taught, you know, they were indoctrinated by YouTube videos from 2014 to 2017, and it taught them to value these very arbitrary things, and they get very angry when they do not show up. And, well, this is a newer one. This is what we learned. It's actually funny. This is like the eras of video essay YouTube. We've got original. We've got like a nostalgia critic era. Then we've got like anti-shonen, like 2014, 2015 Naruto sucks stuff. Then we've got the 2020 breadtube stuff with a male victimhood. And Fujimoto was not on English-speaking YouTube, so he doesn't give a fuck about any of this. But everybody thought he did. Ah, it's tremendous. This is the great legacy of internet criticism. Pointless internet criticism. What a great video that would be. Anyway, we're listening to this guy, because Alita still hasn't uploaded his bitch-ass video yet.
We had to go back to older chapters because I was very much like, what was even the point? And Fujimoto very clearly resolves Asa's character arc before this chapter. Her whole struggle was finding out what a normal life means for her when she has these overwhelming feelings of guilt and shame. The whole reason she's always so moral is because she wants to live a deliberate life where she isn't always making mistakes and feeling guilty. But before she dies,
I've still never thought for 1 second in my life about Asa's thematic guilt shit. And I don't trust Alita to get it right. He never interprets Chainsaw Man right. And I'm not going to figure it out now, so I don't know why I'm pausing and pretending I am. I don't know what the fucking
Yoru
point
tells
of
Asa
Asa
that her
is.
sins are nothing in a devil's eyes, and Denji even says that he killed his dad, but he's still a good person. So it's pretty clear that Asa's takeaway from this ending is that she doesn't need to define herself by her mistakes, and that she can live a normal life while still working to avoid making the same mistakes. If any,
I don't like this. Does Asa ever talk about normal lives? I guess I like that Asa was like, oh, somebody's worse than me, so I'm fine. And it's like, that's what got through to her, because that's like a very selfish, anti-development type mentality. That's cute. And it kind of relates to Denji stuff.
anything, I actually think she's one of the better characters of Part 2, because she shows us a different side to Denji's arc of struggling to learn from your mistakes that feels much more defined and articulate. So by the time we get to Denji saving her, it's really just Fujimoto putting icing on the cake and showing Asa in a scenario where she doesn't have to feel guilty all the time. It would have been nice to see more, and I do agree that scenes like Denji catching her and Yoru deciding to have sex with Denji before getting Asa's approval do undermine her agency.
Oh my god.
But she still has a decently structured arc with a solid ending, which is way more than you can say for most of the other characters. But as well as Fujimoto handled that, this chapter still leaves a lot to be desired. The main thing being that Denji doesn't really seem to learn anything, and there doesn't seem to be a clear message or takeaway for this.
Oh my god. What have these people been reading?
Because what happens is the world ends and Denji dies. In his death, Pochita explains to Denji, and I cannot stress this enough that it's Pochita explaining this, not Denji realizing this on his own in response to the events of the story, but Pochita, not Denji, tells us what you would hope Denji would learn about himself, about how he's only happy when he's in hell. Then we cut to the final chapter where everything just happens to Denji, and by the end of the chapter, he doesn't seem to have gone through any clear changes as a character. Mind you, a lot of Chainsaw Man is just stuff happening to Denji, but that wasn't always the case. Part of why the end of Part 1
Boy,
was
do
so
I
rewarding
got a video for you.
was met with such a completely different reaction to this one is because in that chapter, Denji finally took control of his own life. And not only that, but he actually accomplishes something that nobody else in the world was ever able to do. He defeats the Control Devil. It's at this point that Denji finally understands the unhealthy nature of his relationship with Makima, and then he talks with Pochita about dreams. There, Denji earned everything that he was given, but in this chapter, everything is given to Denji
True,
without
we
him
gotta earn things in life,
earning it. The
everybody.
closest thing to Denji earning this ending is that he chooses to side neither with Yoru nor Little D, and fights both of them, so he can choose his own ending. But we still have
Oh, that is great. He never made the choice. He never ever did it. Like with the Cockroach Devil, he never did it. With the Fire Devil thing, he never did it. That's
the
great.
final takeaway handed to us by another character, and it still seems like Denji is the same character, especially considering the massive spiral he went through during
This is like a Big Lebowski thing too, right? Like he never made any like actual decisions in that movie. Things just kind of continue to happen.
all of Part
What even is the Big Lebowski interview thing? Heath, can you find it?
2. The closest thing I can point to as a redeeming moment is when he
Because
saves
I'm pretty sure I read it like yesterday, but now I have context and I don't remember what it says.
Asa, because in that moment, he has the chainsaw in his hands, but instead of using it to kill Bucky, he lets go of it so that he can catch Asa. This seems like Fujimoto's subtle way of indicating Denji's final takeaway, namely that the only way to be happy isn't to chase dopamine and ignore your own mistakes, but to help the people around you avoid those same mistakes. Because it's only when Denji helps Asa stop tripping that he finally smiles in this chapter and seems ready to live his normal life. But again, it literally falls into his hands in a way that, even though he's making a conscious choice, still feels random. And this random nature is a large part of why many people are unhappy with the way Asa was handled. Mind you,
And that's not I don't think that's the point of leaving the chains of mind. I think that's like, man, Chainsaw Man's over. Denji left it behind.
Asa was the lead character of Part 2 for a long time, so this was a character that was always
I mean, only if you buy into the disgusting elitary propaganda.
important to the story and was at one point actively influencing the main plot. But in the later half, it felt like she was forgotten about as the story centered more around Denji's self-sabotaging, and she sat back and watched Yoru take over. So to then have her not take any deliberate action in the final chapter and actually watch other characters make decisions for her and be saved by Denji, it can feel like her arc is being resolved for her in a way that feels similar to how Denji's resolution feels handed to him. But this isn't the only reason why this ending feels so
Maybe then if it was like happening to both the main characters, maybe that would be like the thematic point of the series or something. No, I don't want to jump to conclusions here, everybody, but it would seem if we were trying to recognize these arbitrary patterns in these stories, that maybe that might be one.
empty. There's just so much that feels like it was set up only to be completely forgotten about in the ending. The main culprit is definitely death and famine. Famine is without a doubt the biggest
Oh, you know, I did see, because, again, there's so many, like, different areas of, like, what people are focusing on. I saw one tweet that was, like, came to the conclusion my video came to about how, like, oh, so it's really, Chainsaw Man's just about how everything sucks and then you die and then and you never learn anything in something. It's like, yes, retard, that is what the point of it is. Have you ever seen a prestige television show? They're all about this. Jesus Christ. And then there was, like, people that had internalized that and were like, they were doubling down on the it's morally wrong to have a message like this in a story where it's like, I think one of them was like, statistically, at least a few people have killed themselves because of the Chainsaw Man ending. And that's the point of Chainsaw Man, that like you should just kill yourself because nothing good's gonna happen to you. And that's a bad thing. And I think that's very funny. Oh my god, the great Heath has found it, I believe. Oh my god, we're going back to Chainsaw Man Reddit. I thought we were done with this forever. I nearly clicked go back to YouTube. Maybe, but this, I don't care enough to check the source. Whenever I see it, I do see orange writing. I do want to get the main engine of the story down on paper. Shut up. And there are themes I want to convey, but also I create my manga in such a way that I don't convey everything. There are tonally unrelated events and gags, scenes that I hope will divert the awareness of the reader. My assistant sons say I'm always fiddling with everything, haha. Do you know the movie The Big Lebowski? That movie really made me think, what even was that, when I was done watching it? Nothing was resolved, wasn't everything pretty meaningless, but still the protagonist had development? I don't know about that. And the story progressed. I don't know about that either. There was this sublime absurdity that I loved. I want Chainsaw Man to give the reader that kind of aftertaste too. So on that note, I sincerely hope you read part 2 as well, and I am personally quite looking forward to the animation as well. So please, so this was definitely like right before part 2 came out, right? Because we're talking about it coming out and hoping you read it and the upcoming anime. Well, that wasn't really a lot. Oh my goodness, where's the fucking video we were watching? Here it is. So, is Alita Ree's bitch-ass video out yet? Don't unmute this
Nothing
one.
burger of a character makes no greater contribution to the plot and is truly only included simply because Fujimoto needed her to at least make an appearance. Then you have Little D, who was always set up to be a major antagonist, and like so many other characters, feels like she has no real agency in this ending. It's still unclear what her motivation was.
We need agency, guys! Agency!
After all of her constant switching sides. She had a great plot twist, but that really just set her up to control Famine and Fake Chainsaw, who, by the way, was the most pointless character in the entire story because he got all of that attention and it just equated to nothing. And apparently Fujimoto even said in an interview—
He made Denji cry for a second.
Which I will just say, I don't know where this came from, so it could be one of those interviews that are total bullshit and manga fans just made up. But apparently he said he always intended for the end of Chainsaw Man to be pointless, so that it would feel like an absurd story.
At least I got Heath to find the quote. Why couldn't this guy get his Heath to find the quote?
Which it definitely feels absurd, but when a story is over 200 chapters, there's certain higher expectations that you would have that are different from what you would expect for a 2-hour movie like The Big Lebowski. So when you
That's just like your opinion, bro.
see people online saying what was the point of part 2, it's completely warranted because you had so many characters and subplots that got all of this build-up only to lead to an ending where they're not even mentioned. What we get is an ending where the 4 horsemen don't destroy the world, but just ruin it to the point that everyone gets eaten by bug devils and die.
The 4 horsemen were going to destroy the world. I didn't know that.
Then we cut to Pochita, then we cut to a perfect happy ending where only a handful of characters make an appearance. No
A perfect happy ending. Did you hear that, you stupid Alita Ree?
No Reze, no death or famine, no Yoru.
True.
People are making comparisons to the ending of Fire Punch, but while they're doing it to defend
It is crazy that I do think it's kind of crazy that Yoru isn't in this chapter somewhere.
Chainsaw Man, it only proves my point. Because let's be honest, the ending of Fire Punch really isn't that good either. It's another
Oh, he said the thing I said.
ending that feels random, and really just feels like Fujimoto just didn't know how else to end the story. There's all of these crazy plot lines in Chainsaw Man that in the end just lead to the end of the world so that Fujimoto can wave his wand and give the characters a perfect ending without it feeling earned. And that's why this ending is the definition of a 5 out of 10. It's everything
I told you, you gotta earn things in life.
Fujimoto knows we want, but it's not what we were expecting or truly needed to see. It doesn't ruin the rest of the story, and it
Yes. And everybody's always like, if it has a bad ending, it does kind of ruin the rest of the story. This is like some weird, like, it's so interesting what people's priorities are and like their coping, where it's like, I want to complain about this, but I also want to maintain the things that I said previously were good. So I have to do this weird thing. Anyway. Rize. Yeah, we don't like it when they say Rize. It's not cool. Why the Chainsaw Man finale feels so messy. 11 minutes. Is Alita's video and it's still not out? Whatever, we'll try this one.
And that is what the final chapter
I'm trying to fast
of
forward.
Chainsaw Man Part 2 is titled. Yeah, thank you, Chainsaw Man. Thank you for the memories. What I'm about to say here shortly about Part 2 is it's heartbreaking. You know, I read the chapter 3 times over. There's
Thank you, Fujimoto, for your hard work.
still clearly
Oh my god, I just saw a shitty ordinary... We should protest. The fact that it's an ordinary RE video means we shouldn't be watching this fucking thing. Everybody, let's comment first. How every Nazi general died, I'm trying to see Alita Ree. Here it is. Don't worry, I'm subscribed, everybody. I should unsubscribe. Why did Denji leave Asa behind? Alita Ree's so fucking stupid. Stop linking things, Alita Ree. I found it myself. He didn't leave her behind. He's literally going back the next day. Oh my goodness, there's no shot Alita is about to animate this panel, right? There's no way this idiot spent time animating a panel. First. I beat you guys. Let's see.
I'm a little
It's moving.
I'm a little frustrated right now, because like everyone else in the entire manga world, I just read the final chapter of Chainsaw Man. Not Chainsaw Man Part 1, not Chainsaw Man Part 2, but Chainsaw Man in its entirety. The
True. Who called that shit? This guy did. This guy
whole
did.
story is over now. Did you like the ending? Did you hate it? Well, believe it or not, this video isn't about that at all. When I read the final chapter,
Oh my god. Alita, are you not taking a goddamn position?
apparently I took away something
I better see a show for my content at the end of this video. And in the middle, he better reference my great Denji video and say, if you want the great explanation for Denji, you should go check out this video.
Did you like the ending? Did you hate it? Well, believe it or not, this video isn't about that at all. When I read the final chapter, apparently I took away something completely different compared to literally everybody else that I've seen talk about it. So I'm just here to spell it out clearly for everyone. Chainsaw Man's ending is not a happy ending. And to explain why, we need to go all the way back. In chapter 1, Denji decides to cope with his hunger and debt-induced anxiety by deciding
Alita already reread the whole series today. This is
that
crazy.
his next dream will be a dream of all these great things. Spread jam on sliced bread, flirting with a girl, playing video games in their room together, and falling asleep in her arms. But before he gets to experience this dream, the Yakuza wake him up and drag him back to his reality. But despite their best efforts, Denji eventually lives out his dream. A 230-long chapter dream with friends and family and joy and laughter, but also a bunch of stuff that wasn't part of the dream he was hoping for. Depression, fear, and hate and anger. In the final chapter, he wakes up from his symbolic dream, a dream that was both good and bad. And what's the first thing he does? He wishes for another dream. The same wish he had all the way back in chapter 1. Denji once again wishes for a good dream. He certainly doesn't want to dream about his current life. After all, his dying thoughts in this chapter are that a single good thing has never happened in his life. But he also doesn't want to dream of a better life, a life that's a pile of both good and bad things. A life that would be far better than his present life, when nothing good ever happens. What we find out in this chapter is that what Denji really wants
Alita's so emotive right now.
is an exclusively, unequivocally good dream. All the good, none of the bad. A dream that will be good enough that he'll want it to last forever. It doesn't have to be something grand. He's happy with a pet dog and spending time with a girl. But there can't be any of the negative stuff. Because like we saw, after he woke up from his most recent dream, the bad stuff will make him just want to dream once more. This small scene kicking off the chapter is what informs my
This is interesting. I don't think Alita must have figured this out today. That is a good point. He does only wish for explicitly good dreams this time, and then we see his like good dream, or he lives out his good dream. But Alita is saying it's not a good dream, I think. So maybe maybe I should just watch the rest of the video.
Reading of Chainsaw Man's ending. In the end, Denji ends up living a pretty familiar life. A life that echoes the dream he just woke up from. He's a public safety devil hunter with a buddy called Power and a boss that's secretly a devil. But is he happy is the question. Is this the good dream he was searching for? A dream he doesn't want to wake up from? Well, I think the answer's pretty clear. He envies nights as video games. He envies Power's happy-go-lucky brain. He wishes he could have gone to school. And in all the mundane moments of his life we see, he's got a displeased expression on his face. Denji is living...
This is just the phone again. Alita just doesn't get
And
it.
in all the mundane moments
It's
of his
just
life
gone
we see,
over his
he's got a
silly little head. Because obviously these are not him envying. This is just the story noting all the ways in which Denji is going to actualize his happiness in this great happy ending.
displeased expression on his face. Denji is living a good life, but despite this, he continues to find things that aren't perfect. Things he
Now
believes
this is true.
make his current dream he's living be a good one. Not simply a good and bad one, like the one he just woke up from, or the one he's living right now. This idea is perfectly exemplified in the final interaction with Asa. Denji, displeased with his dream life, saves a random girl from falling over. His heart skips a beat in this serendipitous moment of elation, but the girl walks away, and he's left staring at her in the distance as he's dragged back into his current life. A good life that, like every other life, just so happens to also have some bad things. But now, going forward, in the back of his mind will forever be the memory of that girl that made his heart skip a beat. The seeds of Denji's next dream.
That wasn't that girl, that was Puchita.
The dream of a life he thinks might finally be the good, happy one he's been searching for. But the irony is, this very dream he's now likely fantasizing about, a life where he gets to spend time with this girl that made his heart skip a beat, is a life akin to one we've already seen. A life that's more or less the same as his current one. A life of both good and bad things. And hence we're left with the message I took from Chainsaw Man's final chapter. Even if you go back and redo things in life, some things will turn out good, other things will turn out bad, but you'll still end up the same person you always were, living day by day, getting joy from the serendipitous moments of daily life.
That's what I said. That's what I
And
said.
all the while, continuing to dream of something bigger. It's not necessarily a sad ending, but it's certainly not a happy one. All the same, that's the end of Chainsaw Man. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe, and see you next time.
The final point is true, because even in my happy little world over here, like, I think the most telling part of the ending to me is that, like, we ended on such a happy point. And I definitely do think, if following the trajectory of that Denji's always gone on, like, bad things will happen and then good things will happen again. It's just like a cycle. It's like real life, bro. Nobody gets a happily ever after or whatever. No, there's going to be some bad times. But the fact that we end on, like, a point of such potentiality and of, like, such, like, normalcy and happiness That's like more the point than like the cycle. And that's why Chainsaw Man has a happy ending. True. That was pretty smart, huh? I should clip that out and make a video. I haven't even been on the live chat all day. And Miller the Killer has been. Well, he's only just recently got here. So my goodness gracious me. You just sometimes you got to remember that Miller the Killer has been, what do you call it, censored by the great YouTube platform. You're reading Naruto too fast. You're watching Naruto too slow. This Heath guy never happy. That's true. Where's the part 2 rating, Kyle? Is it even a separate thing? On Mal? There's no way it is, right? And the great Chainsaw Man is staying at a 10. You know, we love Chainsaw Man here. It was funny right until the end. Remember in that, like, third last chapter where that Denji tried to transform, but that bug just punched him really fast? That was funny. That was genius. But true, that was Elite RE's silly video that should have been on Elite RE and not Ordinary RE. Oh my goodness, he's got 7 views. I do envy Elite RE's ability to be very straightforward in his videos and not be winding. You know, that's because he has Adderall and I don't, by the way. So it's, you know, just a flaw. So I'm the only one that said first. You guys are a disappointment. But, you know, let's contradict that with some other great Chainsaw Man videos. We still got half a stream to go, apparently. Look at this battery in the corner. Can you believe the Big Lebowski didn't tell me anything, didn't give me nothing to talk about? That was kind of annoying.
A lot of emotions. If I look dumbfounded, we're going to break down the chapter before I give my full thoughts. Essentially, and a friend of mine said this, we were talking on Discord, that, you know, whenever an ending...
Bro's got a Makima shirt, that's how you know he's a real fan. So funny that all the dangling plot threads and possibility at the end of part 1 that made us excited for part 2 never happened. Literally, why did this part have to happen? Because Denji had to be sad again, obviously. And also, Alita made a video about how all the plot threads were wrapped up, so...
concludes with, oh, it was just a dream, right? It's like a meme. Like, you wake up like, oh, like the event of everything that happened, it was a dream. So it's like it didn't matter. It's a little weak. And it's an easy way to cop out any, you know, plot threads or things that you couldn't explain.
True, all the great deaths have lost all meaning. I'm telling you, it's just Naruto.
With a clean slate to start anew again, because, well, it didn't really matter what we just read, because this is the new timeline. This last chapter felt like that to me. This last chapter felt like I read fanfic and not in a good way. Was it?
True. Do you think he went on the Reddit and, oh my god, this guy's got 100k subs. I thought this was like 10k max. There's no way he just makes Chainsaw Man videos with his Chainsaw. No, Dan to Dan. Chainsaw Man Part 2, Denji versus... Oh, this is explained. Oh my goodness. Crash and Page. I hope Alita restarted Kagurabachi, you know. I did already, you know. It's true. Like, all it did was introduce the other 4 horsemen and not really explore 2 of them. Who gives a fuck?
Bad? Like, is the chapter bad? That's the weird part. I don't even think the chapter is necessarily bad, but the implications of what happened at the end of 231 to what we're getting with 232 and the events of what happened in 232, that's where I'm feeling murky.
It is also funny that, like, we need to make a diagram of, like, and it would be a Venn diagram. Like, how Twitter is always going to be, like, the most, well, I don't know, I'm sure 4chan or something is more toxic. Twitter is, like, the most toxic, and then, like, it's always interesting how, like, the shadow of Twitter makes its way to YouTube, because YouTube, if you're clued in on Twitter, you're going to see the Twitter reaction first. So there's like, but also on Twitter, because it's just text, there's no like personality. Well, there is personality, but there's no like holding somebody to account. Whereas like, I feel like on YouTube, making a YouTube video, you can't get too crazy. Like you can't fly off and say it's complete dog. Well, we're going to get to Chibi, who is just like Twitter embodied in this great, that wasn't Chibi reviews. This is the great, nope, that's Shitty Moist Critical. This is the great Chibi reviews, where he'll say the most retarded shit. But it's interesting how like the Twitter conversation always like begins the YouTube conversation, but the YouTube conversation will always moderate itself. But it's like a fake moderation where it'll be like, appearing to be more center, but it will cling at all the funny things it saw on Twitter or on Reddit. And that's why he's saying the fan fiction thing that we saw on Reddit a bunch when we checked it.
Murky. So let's just go ahead and break down what happened in chapter 232. Denji ends up waking up in his rundown shack. He wakes up coughing with...
Brother, we don't need a recap. We all just read the chapter.
He still has an eye patch. Okay, Pochita doesn't exist in this universe, so he still has a heart problem. He's still working for the Yakuza. And how do we know he's still working for the Yakuza? Well, because shortly after, he does a job in that rundown where we see a chain suddenly come out of...
True. It was freaking crazy. You thought it was Makima, but then it wasn't Makima. Thank you, Sentenced to be a Hero. It is funny that they always use the first episode footage to try and get these ads.
where, and Power's like, defeating devils. Denji ends up telling Power, hey, I need a new weapon for contract with the new Blood Devil and turn that new Blood Devil into me, right? But in this timeline, Power is Power. She makes a contract with Denji.
Oh,
so,
freaking Attack
does that
on
pay
Titan,
off
bro.
for part one? Sure. Denji's a public safety devil hunter. Pochita or someone towards the end of part 2 was saying, Denji, you're a really good devil hunter. Yeah, because you have the power of Chainsaw Man. I don't know why anyone would want to be a devil hunter in this world, considering the death rate in this universe is sky high. But, let's just put that aside for a
second. He was poor and he didn't have any other issues. Oh my god. Misinterpreting. Chainsaw Man doesn't care about capitalism or... Hey, I put a space there. Or class. God, we hate red tubes. We hate them.
second. If we're getting this fanfic fantasy of Naita being around, Power being around, Denji meeting Asa, then where's Aki? Not to say that this chapter is a fail because Aki's not included, but
where the frickin' hell did Aki go?
at this point, you not adding him just doesn't make sense to me. Now, you can also say, well, hey, he's not after...
Oh my goodness. Why are you wasting your time on Kagurabachi? Obviously, I haven't started Kagurabachi yet. But Heath, you should know better. I don't get it. Because Kagurabachi is popular. It's gonna be Jujutsu Kaisen when it gets an anime. And apparently it has a healthy Reddit community. Well, do we have to go through this every time? I don't give a shit if it's good. Actually, it being good is probably pretty paramount to the success of these videos. But I'm sure Alita will like it. He likes fucking everything. He likes My Hero Academia, for God's sake. There's no way it's worse than that. The things he'll do to not read One Piece or A Song of Ice and Fire. Don't worry. Duncan Egg, I'm sure the second story will be read very soon. Maybe because this is the only manga you've read for the past 3 years, you forget good manga pacing and exploration of ideas feels like. Yeah, brother, I love the ideas in One Piece. Freedom, bro, freedom. I promise you it will never be close to how popular JJK is. It is true, it does have a dumb Japanese name, and that doesn't bode very well. But, Jujutsu Kaisen does have Kaisen in its name, but that's like a cool sounding word. Kagurabachi kind of sounds cool, but it's got Jujutsu, and everybody watches the UFC, and they know about Jujutsu, so that's why Jujutsu Kaisen is popular.
After revenge, or he's not pursuing the gun devil in this universe, but we don't know that. And that's the problem with this chapter. There's too many spin-off scenarios. Was it Doctor Strange or one of those Marvel movies where basically like the nexus point of one major event happening cascades and catapults into different branching paths?
Bro's
in this
got
new
the
timeline,
Marvel
there's
knowledge.
too many questions asking that. I am okay if Power ends up making the contract with Denji in this universe instead of Pochita. But why is Naita here instead of Makima? Where is Aki? And even if Pochita doesn't exist anymore, that doesn't negate the Nostradamus prophecy.
Aki's fucking dead.
The Nostradamus prophecy essentially became a self-fulfilling prophecy by Lil D trying to make Chainsaw Man strong, simultaneously making Yoru strong as well. And through that,
Get to Attack on Titan.
This big looming threat, and so forth. I think the thing that makes me disappointed is that you gave yourself a cop-out. All the questions, right? Let's put the jokes aside about, like, where's Kishibe? Where's Reze? All these things.
These authors need to earn our respect. Not with cop-outs. With
What was the
good
point in part
writing,
2 if this was the
goddammit.
conclusion and we just soft reboot everything? I remember the end of Attack on Titan. I remember when people were talking about the conclusion of My Hero Academia to even the likes of Demon Slayer and
Oh my god, we're not even talking about Attack on Titan.
recently Jujutsu Kaisen. Despite what people may think about those endings, at least they were still canon to the main plot, right? Like the entire narrative that we experienced with Tanjiro, with Yuji, with Eren.
True, this one isn't even freaking canon. Serial Experiments Lane fucking sucks. Oh yeah! Let's get into a real video. Actually, let's watch this 50-second, I don't know what Moist Critical could possibly say in 50 seconds.
Yeah, I know the Chainsaw Man manga ended. I looked at the ending. I absolutely hated everything I saw from the ending.
True.
I really hope that that's not actually the end. I really... there's just... I don't know.
I'm nodding.
There are just so few manga endings that I think are really good. And that is not one of them.
This great new talking point.
If you actually read it. Yeah, I definitely didn't read it all. So that's
He
true.
just read the last chapter. That's awesome. He did a minty earlobe.
But I just hate the idea of... I don't want to get into spoilers.
It was a dream.
It's a crutch that I feel a ton of property use when they're kind of...
I told you gotta earn things. You
one of them
can't
don't
use
know where to take
crutches.
it, so they just do the... I don't want to get into spoilers. The reset. I just don't like that.
Reese came back? Oh my god, OpenAI? What's going on with OpenAI Sora shutting down? Alita, you didn't tell me about that. That's upsetting. Alright. Now for a real goddamn freaking opinion. Okay, so 37 2K. Is that a lot? This generation of mangakas can't end their shit for life. That's upsetting. I'm actually in awe of how suddenly it ended out of nowhere. That's what I was saying. Chainsaw Man's... This chainsaw's run out of gas. Now that is hilarious. Honestly, it should have ended with Denji eating Makima. It felt more a satisfying ending. This isn't how I wanted him to fulfill the Blood Devil contract. Whoa, these guys didn't even like the power thing. That guy in the previous video said everybody liked the power thing. Oh, It's not even that the ending was bad. It's the fact that you could feel Fujimoto lose his passion, wrote himself into a corner for the story, decided to take the easy way out. Just like me when I'm going to take the easy way out later. It's upsetting. Bringing up Kishibe and Reese, brah. That's the real shit.
Fujimoto came into my house, took a fat shit in the middle of my room, and is like, take a whiff, take a taste, because that is all you're gonna get with this finale of Chainsaw Man's manga. And my god, he really did leave a pile of dog shit for us all to taste today, because this is absolutely one of the worst conclusions I've...
Hold on, let's do our own bingo sheet. So we gotta say fan fiction, we gotta say cop-out dream. Do we get an ass pull? I don't know if Chiba Reviews even knows these words.
read in the last few years. I would honestly say with my absolute disappointment with this conclusion, I put it above my disappointment of the Oshinoko ending. This is
Now, he has been saying this for about 3 weeks, so
really bad.
we're happy it lived up to his
I'm going to dissect and get
expectations.
into why I think it's bad in just a moment, but my god, I am just so disappointed. The fact that there is literally no Part 3 announcement here, and we have this actual offer comment from Fujimoto talking about how this is the conclusion he wanted to give to Chainsaw Man, just really cements that this really is the end. Like, this is the final chapter.
What the fuck does this say? There are themes I want to complain in such a way that don't convey... This is literally the thing Heath sent. Unrelated events and gag scenes made me think, what even was that? Nothing was resolved.
Chainsaw Man. And so let's actually read this. So this is a comment from Fujimoto himself, by the way. The author of Chainsaw Man and what he envisioned for the ending of Chainsaw Man. This was
I already read it. Now this is going to be funny. Chiba Reviews is going to freak out about all these breaking of the great tenets of good writing.
I want to convey, but I also create my manga in such a way that I don't convey everything. Unrelated events and gag scenes I hope will divert the awareness of the readers. It made me think, what even was that? Nothing was resolved. Wasn't everything pretty meaningless? I want Chainsaw Man to give the reader that kind of aftertaste too. And my god, Fujimoto accomplished that goal because everything was meaningless.
Oh, there is this other subsection on Twitter, which is like trying to maintain the Fujimoto as a genius like thing that they've all adapted because they saw all those movies in the anime OP, where they were like, well, they say that they're like, Fujimoto really, and obviously this was said with like a negative tint to it, but the tweets are like with a positive tint where it's like Fujimoto achieved his goal, and it's like this, like, yeah, the ending was bad, but you just don't understand the mad genius that is, and they're making an intentionally bad ending like this great ending. It's just, my goodness, it's funny.
Part 1 and Part 2 was straight up worthless because nothing matters. The final chapter is a complete
It's true.
reset to the world, and Denji pretty much wakes up.
God reset the world. It wasn't cool. That was a Devilman reference. I don't know if it was explicit enough for everybody.
At the beginning of the chapter, I'll show it right here. He wakes up and he starts off literally saying with his first dialogue, feels like I had a good and bad dream. Wish I only had good dreams, like eating with a girl and playing video games. I want a pet dog too. Basically, the opening of the final chapter is Denji looking at the entirety of Part 1 and Part 2 of Chainsaw Man, 231 chapters of the series, as nothing but a dream that did not happen. We know it happened, but basically to this Denji, it did not happen. It's just a dream.
It didn't
and
happen.
So all the struggles, death, loss, and problems, and trying to overcome certain things, basically thrown into the dumpster. For instance, Asu's character, thrown into the dumpster. Yoru, thrown into the dumpster. Death Devil, thrown into the dumpster. Fami, thrown into the dumpster. And everything else in between, all the different interactions, the different little things that build up throughout Chainsaw Man Part 1 and Part 2, thrown into the dumpster because of this reset. Now, I want to be completely blunt here. I do not hate this chapter because it is a reset. I feel like that is something a lot of people are misunderstanding.
Oh, Chiba Reviews has got some freaking nuance to him. You guys thought he was a big dumb retard. Well, get ready for this explanation.
When it comes to the critique that many people are potentially having with this chapter, the reset inherently is not a bad thing. It's very interesting. But the problem here is that this ending is so abrupt, it is just so quick.
True.
That there is not enough time to breathe.
I feel like, unironically, if he had just said like 3 chapters before he said that the show that was ending, these people would probably be softer on it. It would have obviously ruined the twist with the bugs like winning in the end, which is hilarious. And obviously that's a much better way to go for the sanctity of the story or whatever. You just got to do the Naruto 5 weeks out thing. Though I mean, it was pretty freaking obvious Naruto was ending.
And not enough time to really expand upon what this really means for the world of Chainsaw Man. Because in general, this feels, at this point in time, with this final chapter, undeserved, unrewarding. For instance, the characters do not deserve this ending. They did not earn it. And you've had all these characters struggle and fight and all that, and technically, they lost. Like, Part 2, pretty much before this chapter, the last chapter, they lost. It was over. Chainsaw Man defeated. Done. And obviously, the only...
I haven't even considered this complaint. In the Battle Shonen, they didn't even win in the end.
option that Kuchita had was to eat his own self to basically completely rewrite history itself that he never existed, which kind of created a paradox where we're at right now with the world reset. I will talk about all this in a moment. The point I'm getting at is that the characters getting to this point where the reset feels completely unearned, and it feels like they didn't actually strive to fight for this. This feels like the mysterious hands of God himself that came in and forced this ending to happen, aka Fujimoto.
We gotta earn things, chat. How many times do we gotta explain it to you guys? Oh my god, Tenor-2 here is saying, what's up, fella? Chiba Reviews is up, apparently.
Which gets into what I showcased.
He's big mad and up. What are these other videos? We just got 2 other ones. Guess what, chat? I really gotta pee, and I'm bored of Chiba Reviews. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna let Chiba Reviews play, and I'm gonna pee, just because that's how I treat you guys. So enjoy it. And make sure to remind me of all the funny things he's gonna say when I get back, okay? So just, you know, just listen to this
basically
guy.
talking about how he wanted everything to
I
feel
endorse
that as a
him.
case for the conclusion of
Everything he
Chainsaw Man.
says in his
so
dump.
pretty much everything was meaningless. He came in, he basically threw everything in the dumpster, he kind of subverted everybody's expectations, and was like, yeah, it didn't matter at all, here you go, here's your happy ending. Now, I can see some of the symbolic themes here of what Fujimoto is trying to do here with this conclusion, and it's obviously in relation to Denji's overall mindset that he's had since the very beginning of the story, and I feel like I do need to talk about this good aspect before I get into a lot of the bad that this chapter offers, because there's barely any good I can really say about this chapter. First off, Denji as a character always sought out the next thing. For instance, when he obtained his objective, his goal for happiness, he went after the next thing. He was never satisfied. He had this endless hunger for satisfaction and happiness and striving for a goal. And we saw this throughout part 1, and then even into part 2, where it drove to the point of the events of part 2. And the thing is that despite Denji reaching points in his life where he was completely happy, where he had everything, he even himself throughout the story admitted he wasn't happy. And this is something that kind of dives into not just Denji as a character, but the whole human concept of when you finally obtain something, you're not always satisfied, because it's better to go after the chase than reaching the top of the mountain and have it, end your journey, so to speak. It's usually the journey that is the most important and the most fulfilling. And so when we get this conclusion here, and Denji's obviously in a world of happiness, he has everything technically he ever wanted, Power's back in his life, he's living a normal life as a devil hunter technically, people around him that, he used to have connections with are still alive, like for instance Asa and all that, and Power's alive. We can only assume Rize and Aki and all of them are alive too. I'll talk about that in a second. The point is that this conclusion is more or less a happy ending. It is a happy ending that everybody is pretty much alive. That's basically what this is, okay? And you don't have the involvement of Makima mucking it up and Chainsaw Man being around also causing problems as well, which, by the way, the fact that the world is all happy and go lucky basically indirectly says that Puchita was such a bad entity in the world itself that he ruined Denji's life and he ruined the world. Like, Puchita was that big of an issue that the entire world is just better off without his existence, which is kind of fucked up. I'm just gonna say it, that's messed up. But the point here is that this conclusion is obviously trying to say that we're not satisfied with the happy ending. We're not satisfied.
I went up in viewership when I left to pee and left the Great Chibi Reviews to yap. I should do this more often. I'm sure everybody enjoyed it. Did he say anything funny or interesting? I bet he did. I bet he did. I started Chainsaw Man almost 6 years ago, and now it's the end. Sheesh, time flies quick. My goodness. CeeLo was saying this yesterday. He said Chainsaw Man is like his Attack on Titan because it's like he started reading it when he was so young. My goodness, and that's true. Remember my Attack on Titan video from 5 years ago where I told the One Piece fans to get ready because their manga was ending next? Fucking dummy. That shit still got 10 years to go easy. Oh. It is interesting, though. It's like One Piece, and what is it? Kagurabachi and Dandadan. These are like the biggest mangas. These are like the only ones that are going, right? I'm trying to think, like, is there anything else? I'm sure there is other little things, but there's nothing too big, I don't think, which is interesting. Like, I have no idea what the sales chart even looked like at the end of last year. I'm sure we looked at it. Because what, that Blue Lock shit is, like, really popular. Best-selling manga 2025. Oh, AI is going to do it for us. One Piece reclaims the top spot. Oricon best-selling manga of 2025. We got One Piece, JJK, Dan, Blue Lock, that's what I said. Kingdom's still going, but Kingdom's been around for so long that it doesn't even count. Blue Box, you can't confuse that with Blue Lock. Come on, guys. Sakamoto Days is still going. People read that. Apocalypse Diaries, people like that. My Hero's done. Fragrant Flower. Kagurabachi ain't even on here. It is really the only one on the radar to, like, blow up soon. Now, I'm pretty sure that anime coming soon thing from 2 years ago said 2027 or whatever, so it's still going to be a while. But, I don't know. Dandadan's probably the hottest thing off the block. I don't know if Dandadan is good. I don't know if the people love Dandadan. I don't know if Dandadan's in a hard arc right now where we're just hating on it. All I know is it's got a lot of chapters. It is funny, I don't really know anything about Dandadan's story. Like, all the things I know are from the beginning. Like, there's the 2 chapters I read, and it's like, oh, it's a romance, and also the granny is sexy. I never got to meet the granny, but I did imagine her as an old granny, but she's that sexy lady. So that was crazy. But I don't know anything about Dandadan, so reading it could be fun. I've never even heard of an arc title for Dandadan. Just take us with you. Would you rather hear you P stream? No, we love cheap reviews, and you can't be listening to the P. Isn't Boruto huge? But Boruto's also fake. Boruto doesn't count. It sucks that Berserk never got its ending. It's the biggest blue balls in history. Well, Berserk has some new chapters, and I liked those new chapters. There was a cool Farnese moment. I think I made a video about it one time on the secondary ENT channel. Well, that's the one we're on, huh? So it's going to get some sort of an ending, but we'll see if it's good, you know? But that one's got an inbuilt excuse of, like, these fucking losers took it over and ended it bad, rather than the what would happen if Miura was doing it. But like the same excuses with like Miura totally fucking just wanted to play Idolmaster, and that's why the ending sucked. He got distracted. He got old. You know, it was only good in the Golden Age, etc., etc., etc. It started getting damn good too. The Great Berserk. You know, the Great Berserk was always damn good. There is a manga-y thingy open on Berserk right now, and a big sheet of the. We could actually go through that in a second, because I'm starting to get bored of fucking shitty Chainsaw Man videos. I think you would love Momo from Dan to Dan. Stop saying Momo. Stop taking the Lord's name in vain. Heath?
Fine, that it is completely everything's a-okay, the world is corrected, Power is back, Aki's probably alive, and, you know, Rize's technically still alive and all that, Nayuta's alive, Asu's alive, you know...
What the fuck is he talking about at the 17-minute mark?
Didn't have a good conclusion, all that...
Oh, we're going flat.
Fine, because there's characters that are just left with no conclusion, we know they're probably alive, but we don't get to even see...
It's true. Whatever happened to the Death Devil? I don't want to watch any more of this. Even a positive... I was going to say even a positive one, but I kind of want to see a positive one.
Last year, I made a huge Chainsaw Man Part 2 video titled Why I Love and Hate Chainsaw Man Part 2. I even booked out cinema. You know, really
Oh
big
my...
project.
I remember almost watching that video a few times.
The point of that video was me just saying that I don't think Chainsaw Man Part 2 is a series that you're meant to have a clean relationship with because of the very meta nature of it. It is a story about Fujimoto and his struggles as an artist. You know, Part 1 was about his experiences of being broken alone, trying to make it
True.
as a mangaka, and Part 2 was about him actually being one. You know, specifically dealing with the struggles of fan expectations, the pressure of not being able to do what he wants, etc. And that is something you can see through Denji in Part 2. The whole story essentially being about Denji wanting to be Chainsaw Man, but people either not letting him be Chainsaw Man or making him be Chainsaw Man in a certain way, not letting him do what he wants as a creative, basically. And Chainsaw Man actually having fans in a story called Chainsaw Man, like it breaks the fourth wall in a lot of ways, and it's very obvious that, you know, it's Fujimoto self-inserting hard into Denji. And a big
He's saying it with such confidence. If he just couched his language, I would be sitting here saying, that's like a cool interpretation, bro. But he's like using the high modality to enthuse us with the fact that this is the truth when it's not. I don't think it's the truth at all. But
big part of why I made that video before the ending actually happened was because I was scared people were going to switch up. That when the ending comes out, all of a sudden everyone likes it, and it makes the whole point I'm trying to say in that video of how you're meant to kind of dislike it or hate it because of the very nature of it, just lose all its value. That did not fucking happen. As a matter of fact, the opposite happened. I have never seen Chainsaw Man receive this much hate in my life. Fujimoto is getting slandered everywhere right now. It's kind of fucking crazy. Like, I have not experienced this since the ending of Attack on Titan. And
oh yeah, I've seen the themes and such thing a lot.
Fujimoto is getting slandered.
Where it's like, what themes are you can play? Like, the only theme of Chainsaw Man has been the hedonic treadmill idea. Like, and that's kind of being adhered to, or you can at least imply, at least in my reading of the ending, that it's like gonna happen eventually.
Right, that was kind of fucking crazy. Like, I have not experienced this since the ending of Attack on Titan, and that was bad. I am still traumatized. But as you can tell from the title, I liked it, loved it even. I am very aware that people are gonna shit on me for having that opinion, or, you know, try and paint me as someone that wants to have an opposite opinion, or, you know, being performative, or just being Fujimoto.
This guy's only got 200 subs.
No, I genuinely love this chapter. Wallahi, I love this chapter. Right, I really enjoyed it.
He said wallahi. That's pretty cool.
However, I also completely
One ball sock Denji, tragic too. I did point that out. Even though I felt underwhelmed, the scene where Denji drops a chainsaw man to help Asura put a massive smile on my face. Aki wasn't there because he was never a devil hunter. Aki fucking sucks. That's why he wasn't there. I read this chapter with the assumption part 3 would be some of the event, and in this sense, Denji will finally be happy. That's the ending. True.
People dislike it, but I want to kind of talk about why I think it's the perfect kind of ending for Chainsaw Man. Also, this video is basically off script. I have a couple of bullet points here, but, you know, nothing serious, so if this is not well articulated, I'm sorry, I guess. The world went to shit, and then all of a sudden we're back at chapter 1 after Kuchita erases himself, and now Denji is broke, has one eye, one ball sack, and is working as a devil hunter again. Characters like Yoru, Lil D, Fumiko just disappear. Apparently, Power and Nayuta are still alive, and Asa is in school, but doesn't trip this time, and then, yeah, life goes on. The end. Very understandable why it's getting such an insane reaction. That being said, I think there is something so beautiful in this chapter in such a strange way, and that feeling in and of itself makes it a perfect ending for Chainsaw Man for me. I remember when I was researching that huge part 2 video that Fujimoto said a while back he wanted to write this kind of ending from the jump. Do you know the movie?
True. Did you know about this quote, guys?
Big Lebowski. That movie made me really go, what even was that when I was done watching it? Nothing was resolved. Wasn't everything pretty meaningless? But still, the protagonist...
Remember when I had the great idea to make 2 videos where I just read, like... Because on skullknight.net, they have, like, a list of every interview Miura ever did. And I think I found a similar thing for Attack on Titan with Isayama. And it's truly just because I'm lazy. But it would be a good video to just go through and read that. Now, obviously, I probably shouldn't read them all and then go through them. I'd probably read them and then make notes and bring forth my findings. It would definitely be good to do that about Fujimoto. Just because everything people probably say about him is probably completely retarded and untrue.
Had development, and the story progressed. There was this sublime absurdity that I loved. I want Chainsaw Man to give the reader that kind of art. You can tell by the decline in art. You know, you can tell by the longer and longer breaks between every
Oh,
chapter.
true. The great decline in art. It was upsetting when I saw it. Is there going to be a Chainsaw Man ending video without the Lebowski quote? I don't think so. It's what everybody's referencing on Twitter. Again, Twitter has set the discourse.
I'm not living up to people's expectations and how that's important on an individual and political level. This was always going to be that kind of ending.
Hold on, what
that
was
movie made
this?
me really go, what even was that when I was done watching it? Nothing was resolved. Wasn't everything pretty meaningless? But still, the protagonist had development and the story progressed. There was this sublime absurdity that I loved. I want Chainsaw Man to give the reader that kind of aftertaste too. And I mean, he did just that. Going back to what I said about the story being about being a creative, doing what you want and not living up to people's expectations and how that's important on an individual and political level, this was always going to be that kind of ending, I think. You know, it's pretty obvious that Fujimoto was really struggling with Chainsaw Man as we got deeper into it. You can tell by the decline in art, you know, you can tell by the longer and longer breaks between every chapter. I mean, even in the final chapter, I'm pretty sure there was a panel where he forgot to draw Denji's eye patch. I think that was like a genuine mistake, which just goes to show how burnt out and done with Chainsaw Man he was towards the end. And basically all of the success of Chainsaw Man was starting to weigh him down. Of course, Chainsaw Man being so popular and so successful has its benefits, but it was clearly causing him a lot of pain, just like Chainsaw Man was causing Denji pain. And that maybe when he was struggling in Tokyo in that little apartment, he was happier. Chainsaw Man Part 1 is about how life is both good and bad. You know, that's how it is. But for us, the audience, for Denji, it was about letting himself ask for more than just a normal life. But what happens when you get what you want? What happens when you've already achieved that big dream and it ends up causing you pain?
Oh my
Chainsaw Man,
god, he's got the right scene.
like a spinning infinite chainsaw blade, whatever, was causing Denji pain, right? It kept cutting him. It was making him self-sabotage, and he actually found happiness in that pain. If you were to ask me why, it was probably the closest thing he felt to that shitty little apartment. Basically, he was going down a dark path, and one in which he can never be happy. I saw someone say this on Twitter, and I think it's a perfect way to put it. I think Chainsaw Man Part 2 is a power corrupt story.
Told you, Twitter did it all.
But for everyone, Chainsaw Man as a figure that was worshipped, as an enemy, and for Chainsaw Man himself, you know, it is corrupting everyone and everything, to the point that the world ends up in a really fucked up place. That is what
That's like not the point at all, right? The idea is that like Denji, Chainsaw Man didn't corrupt Denji, but like everybody was using Chainsaw Man just to like reaffirm the things they wanted and what they already believed, and they weren't actually thinking about Chainsaw Man.
happens when we get
Which is like the corridor in which you can throw the meta stuff that he's pretty obsessed with in, and it actually makes sense.
or to literally erase things. And it's why Vegeta was basically given no option at the end, but just to erase himself and just restart everything, I guess. And, you know, going back to Fujimoto, especially with that second to last chapter, it was him really telling us that, you know, this power he has with Chainsaw Man has really caused him pain and, you know, maybe messed up things in his life. But that doesn't mean Chainsaw Man never happened or that was all bad. It was a good and a bad dream, like Denji says. I really love that moment with Vegeta saying to Denji, you know, thank you for everything. I've got to experience my dreams because of you. Because I honestly feel like in that moment, that was Fujimoto talking to Chainsaw Man, you know, his piece of art, saying that even though maybe things weren't as good as he thought they would be.
It's kind of just the Anno stuff, right? Where everything is like, actually, it's about Anno talking to me. And that's what everything in the story means. And that's like crazy, bro. I think we get the point of this one. A very negative, positive video. What about this one?
Chainsaw Man.
I figured we'd get a bunch of people saying that the ending of Chainsaw Man Part 2 was complete garbage because what was the point? Dennis, he just kept making
Another 300,000 subscriber channel.
same mistakes. Was he ever going to learn his lesson? This is ridiculous. No, he wasn't going to learn his lesson because he kept falling for women. He kept falling for the same chaotic situations to make his life feel like something. He wasn't.
Bro, somebody made a video about this one time.
Same as loving somebody that is going through addiction. It's the same exact feeling, exact way, because you're loving something that fundamentally isn't going to have a good endpoint. Now, I think the Chainsaw Man Part 2 ending was great. I thought it was fun. I thought it was fantastic. Imagine if
True. People are canceling Pokemon Go for stealing data? My goodness, this guy just makes topical videos. The strange love of 10-year-old Gwen Tennyson? My goodness, people do love Gwen Tennyson. I remember Gwen Tennyson. Oh my god, I got a notification. Well done, Kyle. What the fuck is this?
I'm a little frustrated.
Oh, it's a response to this. Okay, I was like, did somebody repost my video or something? And I got a I was very confused for a second because of the thumbnail that appeared in my notifications, but I understand now.
the addiction that you loved took itself out of the equation. Imagine it did League of Legends, and League of Legends went offline, so you gotta go outside. Imagine if you're addicted to maybe some illicit substance, and then the illicit substance simply ceased to exist. How would your life be? Would it be fun? Maybe you're addicted to causing arguments, but what if you actually went to anger management classes? But anger didn't exist in this world. What Pochita did was take himself out of the story. So I'm gonna talk about the ending. If you just want to hear me yap, then you can just hear me yap, but I got a lot to say, so it's gonna be a pretty long video. Not a lot of pictures on screen, sorry, I know, but I'm gonna explain the ending. So it looks very careless at first when you first look at it. It's chaotic. Someone threw a handful of pages in the air and walked away and said, there goes your ending to Chainsaw Man, hope you enjoy it. But the longer you sit with it, the more deliberate it becomes. I reread the chapter about 10 times and finally understand everything. It is painfully deliberate. That's what it is. People keep circling it saying, what did it mean? Why did Denji want to sleep with Asa? You know, he's an assaulter. He's a predator. Like,
True.
he's a teenage boy who had a girl who liked him, and he's never been betwixt the sheets before.
Oh my god, this guy's the greatest.
He's never thought he could actually get there, so that's what he had. That's the whole thing. No, he's a danger. He's evil. No, he's a teenage boy. Is what he is. I know a lot of people want to make him seem evil. A lot of people are just painting him in this wild narrative. But this is what Denji wants. Denji is the city mouse. This was always a narrative that chose
Oh, this is some Miller the Killer bullshit, thinking this mouse thing means something.
his own limbs just to see if it can still crawl forward. That's how the narrative works. Pochita eating himself was the most precise kind of narrative violence imaginable. A total removal of the story's own heartbeat, literally. The decision to erase a thing that made everything else
God, true, literally.
possible so that what remains can fully exist without being constantly distorted by it. It's terrifying because it means everything that came before it was never stable to begin with. Look at the stability we got. Denji is an accomplished devil hunter. Power is seemingly happy with Denji. They're enjoying their stupid, doopy conversations. Makima isn't there to destroy and take and rattle everything in front
Why
of
didn't we watch this video? But also, I remembered I want to flex my stupid berserk thing. So, hold on, I want to do that and make sure we get it in, and then if we have time, we can come back to this video. Okay. Come on, refresh. Oh, berserk video ideas. Here it is. I spent like an hour on this document the other day. I know, pretty impressive. where I like wrote out every potential Berserk idea, my understanding of their points now, and then the idea is to go back through chapters, not a full reread, and just note down, because like you'd think you'd be able to make this "Did Gambino ever love Guts?" video, which is just about parenthood and Berserk, and then I was like, surely you just have to reread the Gambino chapters, and then you're like, no, you've got to read the Isidro chapters too, and every Isidro chapter because that's Guts' son. And then you got to read every Shurikei chapter. So I think the point is to just go through chronologically and note down whenever like something would come up. So I've done this big thingy, and this is something I'll be looking to do in the coming days, I think. So we'll see. We got to make those Berserk videos. We'll put Elitari's Jujutsu Kaisen stuff to shame. Oh, I think I was supposed to go through the ideas. I'm pretty sure I've gone through all these ideas a million times. Black Swordsman and the mask people wear. Did you know Guts was faking when he was the Black Swordsman? That's crazy. Puck proved it. Oh my goodness, how you got to put the Black Swordsman arc there to make the Golden Age exciting. Otherwise it's boring and you got a bad anime adaptation. The Count and Teresa are good. Did you know that? Berserk and Parenthood. Now that's a video. Then we've got isn't the Berserk's royal family so freaking cool, bro? And then we got, isn't the Vandeminian family so freaking cool, bro? And then we've got the giant 200-hour Guts, Casca, and Griffith best manga relationship, referencing my second most popular video of all time. Truly a splendid video. Now you've obviously got to do the video about how Farnese is the greatest character of all time. You got to throw in why Isidro is obviously the greatest character of all time, and then you got to throw in, if you care about Puck being a chestnut, you should kill yourself. And then also we got the Fantasia idea I've been putting up for like 2 years. And then we've got the miscellaneous points. Very smart. Look forward to all these videos definitely coming out soon. All right, everybody look forward to them. Oh my god, my Black Sails video. We love that video. So that's my silly Berserk thing.
On their face, they're basically just doing exactly what they're supposed to do, being devil hunters. I love the line. There's a line in Chainsaw Man in the beginning where Aki is on top of a devil, and he says, "Don't touch the devil. The blood is poisonous."
True.
Everybody evacuate.
It's in the
Denji
movie.
says that same exact thing. Denji is doing protocol, same as Aki. Denji has fulfilled the role of Aki, but is significantly better at it because he's not driven by revenge. He's driven by the purpose for the excitement of the city because he finally
True.
gets it. With
Aki
Chainsaw
fucking sucks. Say it
Man
again.
removes himself from existence. There's no explosion of the world. Every concept that he had doesn't magically come back. Everybody wants all these answers. I think a great narrative is one that can rarely explain itself and still give cohesion to it. You don't want the author to explain a story too well. That's how we got mini-chlorians in Dragon Ball Z. Sorry, let me phrase that better.
True.
In Star Wars. I was thinking about S-Cells in Dragon Ball Z. You know how that tingly feeling on a Super Saiyan's back makes him
I
go Super Saiyan?
fucking
Oh,
hate
that's a
those
tingly feeling. It goes zoom, zoom, pow.
prequels.
Remember that?
Oh my goodness, we got Berserk chatting. Golden Age is just absolute peak. Oh no, not one of these guys. What are you doing, Tedder? We hate the Golden Age here. We obviously like Falcon of the Millennium, the much better arc. Isidro's not in the Golden Age, so it can't be good. Farnese isn't in the Golden Age, so it can't be good. Farnese's family isn't in the Golden Age, so it can't be good. Minus Serpico, he sucks. And Shurikei's not in the Golden Age, it can't be good. What do you got, Judo over there? Judo frickin' sucks. We don't like Judo. Oh my god, we need the Judo sucks video. That would be great. There was no other feeling like the Golden Age arc. I got some feelings for you. Fantasia, bro. That shit was crazy.
You don't want narrative explanations from the author. It is better to leave it to ambiguity because the mystery of a situation creates an allure
Ambiguity in action.
to draw for theory crafting, which
Show don't tell.
makes conversation never die out. That is amazing. There's no central force dragging everyone into conflict because Chainsaw Man is gone. No gravitational force living to intersect in violence and poetic ways to explain the narrative. Without that force, everything just becomes life again. Slow, indifference, unremarkable. Denji is no longer the chaotic center, no longer a creature pulled into longer narratives. He becomes something smaller, human. The Yakuza's gone. The debts are gone. He's still in debt to power because power gives him blood. He has habits. He's a hunger that cannot be satisfied by grand purpose anymore because that purpose was erased
True.
along with the thing that justified it.
That
He is not
hunger is for the ladies. Ooh, yeah.
Chainsaw Man. It's a man with a chainsaw. That's what he is. Thanks, Chainsaw Man. Asa says to Denji, and Denji says, "What'd you call me? What? Say that again. Fantastic Four. Say that again. Say that again." That's what it is. We're gonna answer a few questions that a lot of people have. A lot of people have these questions, and I've discovered the answer to them because people don't read. Where's Aki? Aki never walks the road towards becoming a devil hunter because Makima
True.
didn't manipulate him into becoming a devil hunter.
Actually, it's just because he's not important. Isidro to me is what Aki is to you. Well, that means you just have bad taste, Trip. Because obviously Isidro is funny and hilarious, and Aki is lame and not funny at all. So obviously Isidro is the
Did
best.
you realize that? Makima doesn't exist. There's no
What, do you
narrative
get your master man talking points, Trip? My
for
goodness.
the man that sacrifices for him at all. Power is no longer tied to the same web of suffering by Makima. She's there literally for Denji. We see that. She's there for Denji. The conditions that created that version of her life don't exist, right? Makima loses her entire reason for being. She wants Chainsaw Man. She is a fan of Chainsaw Man. There's no Chainsaw Man. Makima doesn't really have a reason to do a lot of the stuff she did. The entirety of Chainsaw Man Part 1, it was all to get to Denji's heart. Now, everything she did was I need to get to Chainsaw Man. She had been looking for Chainsaw Man. Her entire goal for reasoning, existing, was Chainsaw Man. That's it. Why would Makima be there? Why would Makima be there? That version of Control Devil, Makima, that was the Chainsaw Man fan. That's what she was. And Yuta is not the Chainsaw Man fan. I imagine, this is a theory, it's me guessing, guessing here. Here's a guess. I imagine that Makima didn't
She's
really
a fan
need
of
to because
Denji.
her devotion twisted into something monstrous and disgusting, whatever it may be. The desire that consumed her to be worship that thing. Without Chainsaw Man, there's nothing for her to chase. Nothing to shape her into that terrifying form. So the version of her that existed before simply had no reason to rise into that role at all. That's what it is. I'm sure you have other questions. The idea of hybrids. Well, a lot of hybrids probably don't exist because Chainsaw Man doesn't exist. But
Who gives a fuck about the Devil Man?
controlled monsters, forced identities, all of it fades into that same quiet background because Chainsaw Man's existence was the purpose for all that. The hero of hell. Power still exists because power is not tied to Chainsaw Man. There's no reason for power to be tied to Chainsaw Man. She is just power, the blood devil. That's what she is. People still fear blood. That's what it is. Now, what was the point of Chainsaw Man?
This is the best Chainsaw Man video we watched all day.
You may be asking, what was the point of all this? People ask that hollow question. What was
That
the
was
point?
us subtweeting shitty Eliori.
Stories are not required
Now, if that video had been uploaded to Eliori like it should have been, then maybe we could have a
to
conversation.
hand you a clean answer wrapped in moral clarity. This is the most human story about demons I've ever seen. The point was never winning
Imagine animating manga panels for your second channel chat. Isn't that just
or
embarrassing?
losing or even understanding. It was experiencing the weight of connection in this world of Chainsaw Man that constantly strips meaning away, and then watching what happens when that connection is removed at the root. That's what it is. Think about this. I'll explain it better. Denji
I wasn't listening to that part, so I hope he says
has
it
always
again.
been a creature of wanting. He's a creature of habit. He wants it. He got to have it. He's not shallow. He's not simple. He's you and me. We're driven by a simple desire. That's it. And we never quite settle. When I reached 100,000 subscribers,
The ladies, yeah.
I said I'm gonna reach 1 million subscribers. And what will happen when I reach 1 million? 2 million? 5 million? 10 million? Who knows? I don't know. But I'm not there yet. But I have a goal to reach towards. That's Denji's entire existence. You want to get promoted to manager. You want to make $25 an hour. You want to get that house. What happens after the house? Get that wife. What happens after the wife? Maybe kids. What's after kids? Grandchildren.
Second wife.
What's after grandchildren? Maybe you want to chase your dreams. Maybe you want to climb Mount Everest. Maybe you want to travel to Japan. Maybe you want to travel to China. Maybe you want to go to Russia. Maybe you want to become president. That is Denji's goal. The hedonic treadmill becomes even more
Oh, I even said it.
in a world where the grand narrative has been erased because now there's nothing to distract him from it. Whether he is chasing something small or immediate or something larger and abstract, the core still remains the same. He has a need to belong, to feel something real, to anchor himself in this world that keeps dissolving the moment he thinks he
So is this Super Saiyan 2 Gohan here, or is this like Gon or some lame shit? I hope it's Super Saiyan 2 Gohan.
understands it. That's what it is. What the ending does, overall, in a strange, weird, horrifyingly unsettling way, it strips everything down
Bro, it's the main character from the hit browser game Rotate and Roll. Or is it a slime from Dragon Quest? I don't know.
to a core. The core truth that no amount of
Frankly, we don't need the author to tell us. We just need to interpret it, chat.
chaos can erase. No matter how ridiculous the world becomes, no matter how extreme the events around it, people still crave connections in ways that do not make sense and do not resolve cleanly. That craving does not just
Was
disappear.
there a better game to ever exist than Rotate and Roll? Let's look it up. Rotate and Roll. Cool maths games. This is the number one. This is the best. It doesn't look like it used to. Hey, it's still got the same logo. How many levels do you think I can get into Rotate and Roll? Skip an ad in 10 seconds. Jesus freaking Christ. Oh my god, we can buy a Switch too. I don't remember this site having ads when I was 8 years old. Trivia? Oh my goodness. We should do this on stream all the time. I don't remember this either. Oh, I remember this though. Oh, and I remember this great soundtrack. It's very loud though. I wonder if I ever got to level 40. So chat, see, you got to get the thingy into the thingy. But it teaches you physics when you play this game. Oh my god, I spacebarred. Now, you don't want to hit those things, so you got to hit it slow. It's a game of patience, like Mario. And then you got to, you just got to do that a little bit. Now, these tons are a little tricky, because you got to go all the way to this side, and then you got to roll the fuck down. Oh, and these ones disappear, so you got to time it right. I didn't time it right. I got a big death. Now, I remember them doing it a lot quicker than they're doing it right. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Is he going to make it? He made it before he came back. Oh my god, this is a bit dick. Now, there's a trick to this one, because if you do it well, you can skip it and catch yourself on the bottom. But, you know, sometimes in life, you're just not as talented as you used to be when you were young. We're all getting older. Our bodies are disintegrating. You should have done all those things physically you wanted to do a few years ago. And, you know, it's just it's a hard life. Oh my god, did we do it? Did we fuck it up? Oh my goodness, I'm so... Oh, see, this is one where you gotta be tricky, just like that, you know? Oh, yeah. If any of them fall to their death, you're fucked, alright? But this one I remember, so I can do this shit easy as fuck. Now, this black one is a little difficult. No, oh, I fucking thought I missed it, because you gotta get it over the hump here. Oop, oh my god. Oh my god, we gotta wait, everybody. Get everybody waiting? Oh, I went the wrong way. And I didn't wait long enough either. It's like inverted controls. This is way better than those videos? True. Oh my god, did I go fast enough? True. Oh, this one's a difficult one. You gotta keep rotating. And then you gotta go the other way. Oh, I nearly did it. This is better than every game I've ever played on the PlayStation. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. You gotta go... And then you gotta... Oh, no. Everybody get nervous. And then you gotta go this way. And then you gotta get in there! And then we gotta go into the blue thingy. You guys are catching on. You understand how this fucking game goes. Oh my fucking god. Yes! Oh, this one, there's like a harder version of this one later. It used to piss me off for real. But I did that one easy. Oh, I remember this one. This one's a little difficult because you see you gotta go slow. And you probably should go one by one. But we're not gonna do that because we're badass. Just like Denji. Remember Denji? We were talking about him for like an hour. Now, get in there, you know, and then you just gotta ooh, 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 ooh. And then you just gotta ooh, 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 ooh. You just gotta, you know, you don't want to overdo things. You'll lose that way. This is a lot easier than I remember it being. Now this one you gotta go back fast, and then you gotta catch them. Oh my god, I'm gonna catch them. The inverted controls nearly fucked me up again, but don't worry. Oh my god. Ah, it nearly fucked me again, but I corrected. Oh, I remember this one. This one's a little difficult. See, you gotta turn before you get to the coin. Oh, I turned too early, and now I'm gonna get too much momentum as I go down the side. Oh, yep. And so you're also moving the thingy together because it's stuck to the. This is definitely fucked. Oh, 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 oh. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Oh, I got it. I'm a fucking god. Never have you seen a better gamer than I. Oh, I remember this one. He's stuck. He's stuck. You got to be careful. You got to be careful in these things. Now, you can do it. Oh, I was going to try and go the back way. Come on. Come on. See, patience is not... I hate being patient. That's why none of my plans ever work. That's why none of those Berserk videos are coming out. We're seeing it epitomized right now. Now get down those fucking steps. And then we gotta go this way. How many levels were they? Oh, this one. I remember this one. You gotta like... Wait, how the fuck do I do this one? Oh, that's right. You gotta hit this and then you... Oh, yeah! You're actually supposed to go down the bottom, but I did it wrong. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, go fast, go fast. Oh, we gotta wait. Frick this disappearing ball. Oh my god, I got them both through. That was crazy. That was the most skillful game maneuver you've ever seen. Now, oh, this is an easy one to cheese, I think. But we don't even have to cheese it when you're that good at video games like me. Ah! I nearly See, I told you there was a harder version of this one. Now there's two. How am I supposed to keep track of both of them? And then we want to go, ooh, I got it. Hey, fuck off! I'm winning video games here. And I couldn't move my keyboard because it was stuck to the fucking pop-up. We're going to beat this level, and then we're going to kiss, chat. So get ready to kiss, okay? Because we'll continue this next time. Oh, my goodness. I don't have time to actually win. You can't just win by... I hope it saves my score. I'm nearly halfway through the game. We'll return to that one of these days. Shout out to that guy for having a good video. Oh, my God, I'm banning somebody. Everybody get ready to kiss. It happened. Have you played the BMX Master? The soundtrack is a banger. I don't think so. But, you know... Sometimes, you know, there's still things to discover in life. Okay, everybody. No kiss, you didn't beat the game. That's upsetting. But, you know, sometimes you just need some discipline in your life. You need some incentives to be able to be successful. Now, I've done about 3 streams in the last 5 days. Now, that's some crazy shit for our current trajectory. So don't be surprised if there's not another stream this goddamn month, right? I had to talk about the Big Lebowski. I planned it before I watched the movie and realized there was nothing really to say about it pertaining to Chainsaw Man. But, you know, sometimes in life you're a winner, sometimes in life you're a loser. And today, we could all be winners, just like Denji at the end. But to be a winner, you have to go do something that isn't this stream, so I gotta end it. That's an easy way for me to get out.